This is the At the Kitchen Table podcast. We guide, inspire, and influence sort of the entrepreneurial spirit. Nice. And so the idea is just to talk about business and life and how we've come to success and failure and how business evolves and things like that. So welcome,
That's great.
Claudine.
Thanks for having me. I'm
You're
glad
welcome.
to be here. Thank you.
So, okay, back up. Tell me about you. And how did you and your husband, Chad, work in the business together?
Yes, we do.
Tell me a little about your business and how you guys came to this place.
Well, I can't tell you much about a business without telling you about us first. We met when we were 16 and 17, so we have known each other
like you raised each other?
Life. Yes, yeah. Still raising each other.
I got it.
And we've been married 26 years now, but together for over 37.
Wow.
So we have a lifetime together. And so we've always been entrepreneurs. Never have we worked for anyone.
Yeah.
My husband did work for somebody, I think, right outside of college and started his own business there and was gone within like 2 months. And it was a placement agency. And so he had
this isn't going to work.
Yeah. He did that for a couple of years and then sold that business and kind of ended up in marketing and just started doing a lot of marketing. And that's where his passion lies. Mm-hmm. And then I was a real estate agent when I started having kids 22 years ago.
Okay.
And so I just kind of did my thing. He did his thing. And then 15 years ago, we decided to move from Dallas, Texas to Evergreen, Colorado.
What was the appeal?
I want to say it was more of a spiritual awakening than it was a midlife crisis.
Okay.
So
that's what we're calling it.
That's what we're calling it. I literally sat him down at the kitchen table and was like, I don't want this anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to take my kids to Chuck E. Cheese anymore. I want to go outside and enjoy ourselves and like live outside and raise our kids outside.
And the kids were little at the time?
Yeah, they were babies, 5 and 3. Mm-hmm. So they were little.
Yeah, it was your break. It was your time to go.
Yeah.
If you were going to make a run, you had to do it before they rooted down, right?
Yeah. So we did. We jumped. We didn't know anyone. And we we knew somebody in Arvada. So from Dallas to Arvada, we stayed with them for about a week, hung out with them for a little bit, and rented a Prius.
Okay.
And it was April. And we went from, Colorado Springs all the way up to Boulder, went over to Parker. And then the last day we were here, we were 5 days in, and a friend of mine texted me and she said, hey, our mutual friend lives in Evergreen and he fly fishes every day in his backyard. And so
you were like, that's what I'm looking for.
I believe that as a text. And I'm like, every day? Wow. And of course, Chad was like, oh my gosh, yes, let's go visit this place called Evergreen. And we really had resolved that we were not going to move to Colorado because it was just Dallas with mountain views to us of what we checked out.
Yes.
And so we took our little Prius up, to Evergreen, and it had recently just snowed.
Right.
And it was beautiful. It was April. There was just like these gooey gumdrop snow mounds on the pines, and the lake was frozen.
Right.
And we come up over the hill on 74 and we're going down to the lake, and Shad just goes, this is it. This is what I saw saying Colorado. Because we were thinking about the East Coast, the West Coast, and Colorado just kind of ended up on our plate at the time. And so he said, this is it. And I'm like, it's a great place to visit. Like, I don't even know, like, do people my age live here? Isn't this more retirement? Like, I just really didn't understand the town.
Yeah.
So he pulls over, we drive around, and then he pulls over finally. And he's like, this is it. Like, I really want to try this one out. And so we are just people that jump and build our wings on the way down. Like, we are not huge planners about those types of things, especially in that moment, both being 40, just ready to figure life out. Yeah. And so I said, okay. And so we sold our house. I was a real estate agent in Texas. We sold our house in 2 weeks. We packed up. We were gone. Like, literally, it was cash offer. It was a hot neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, oh my gosh, what have we done? What are we doing? And so we end up renting for a year, and we fell in love with it.
Yeah, you rented up in Evergreen. You found a place just to land.
And I didn't necessarily go into real estate, and he didn't either when we first got there. But over time, because he's like, you should get your license here in Colorado. And I'm like, I just want to raise our babies and just like live outside. And it was just the most glorious like first couple years for me, just to be like, I was super busy back in Texas, and it was just, I wanted to bleach my hair blonde and call myself Cindy. Like, I just really.
You were somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted just to take that moment just to be with the kids for a little while. So he said, well, I'm going to get my license and I'm going to figure this out. And we were driving down 70 and all the buffalo were on either side. And he said, what do you think about starting the Evergreen experience? And I said, sure. He's a guy that starts a business.
Like his marketing mind clicked on,
yes,
right?
every 5 minutes. So I'm like, sure, whatever, have fun with that. And he did. He started blogging, every night from like 1 a.m. to 3 a.m.
This was kind of before blogging was cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was 2012. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so he had a passion.
He's that driver.
What was it like to live here? Yeah. We had a really bad experience with a realtor. Yeah. And so he's like, he didn't help us understand what it was like to live in a mountain town being Dallasites at the time. So the very pain turns into passion. And so he just started talking about like, what kind of car do you need? There's microclimates. Is there internet here? And he just started going to town.
Oh, wow.
And answering all the questions. And then,
in pursuit of a real estate business or in pursuit of just information?
He got his real estate license and he knew that the market was in great shape. Like they had some great agents in Evergreen and we still do. And we're in very good relationship with a lot of the agents there. So he knew it would be a hard market to penetrate.
Yes.
And no one had filled the void.
Who gets through Tupper Briggs up there, right?
Well, we do.
Yeah.
And so no one had been answering the question of what it's like for the buyer. There were a lot of listing agents up there. Mm-hmm. No one was answering the question for people to relocate there.
Yeah, this makes sense. Right.
And so he was answering those questions. Yeah. And so I decided to get my license when he got super busy.
Yep.
And
the kids were bigger at that point too.
They started going to school. I was homeschooling them for a long time and they started going to school and it was just a kind of a natural, got busy and it was just a natural partnership. And literally I started our Instagram account 15 years ago now. And it's hilarious because like the first post is just a very edited filter on filter, square, burned edges image of a deer in the water at the lake. And I just started posting about what it was like to answer that question. What's it like to live in Evergreen? Like that's what we started in 2012, basically, was what's it like to live in Evergreen.
And what do you miss about Dallas?
Oh, gosh. So being this person that was born and raised in the South and Shad too, we have deep roots in food. And so I miss the good food that's there. You can just walk out your door in Dallas and eat any good meal anywhere. But that was also the thing that we were like, and that's it.
Like we're here for the food?
Yeah. The shopping's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's so superficial. It's so superficial.
And then did you spend the time outdoors that you thought you'd spend? Did you get here and go outdoors?
We never were inside. Yeah. It was just, we were like two kids in a candy shop. I mean, we just got in the car and traveled everywhere in Colorado and just ate this state up. I mean, it's still to me, the most beautiful place to live.
That's right. Yeah.
We go on vacation and we can't wait to get home and our back, you look out, we live over 2 acres and we have like Mount Blue Sky. We have Bergen Peak. We have Elk Meadow. We have elk and deer walking through our neighborhood all the time. Fox. I mean, we're like,
you pinch me. Is this the life we're living?
It's like Snow White.
What do you think was sort of the boiling point that brought you to make the decision to jump? I mean, I'm curious about sort of the emotional state that you came to where you're like, I don't want to live this life. Like, how do you make that decision?
I think it was the quality of our relationship that really got, women tend to have more of a pulse on the emotional side of the relationship. And he and I just weren't happy. And we were going to counseling. We were trying to figure things out. And we were trying to do things that would just make our life better. And it wasn't. And so after putting the kids to bed one night, I just sat down at our kitchen table and said, I got to talk to you. And he's like, oh my gosh, like she's going to divorce me. Like, and I said, we need to get out of here. We need a change of environment. We need a different life. We need to change this. And he's like, let's do it.
You have family in Dallas? Your family was there?
We have moms that live there. And then
that
siblings.
Can pull on relationships too, right? You're trying to go to birthday parties for the other children and life for everybody else and attend to other people instead of attending to your nuclear family.
It wasn't, we definitely have very good relationships with our families. And so when we left, they were like, don't leave. You're crazy. Like, this is what we do here. We, generational growth here. Let's just stay. And we just said, well, we're going to try it out. We just want to try it out. We haven't been
never
back.
looked back. It's funny that you tell this story. My mom and dad were from the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
And my grandmother cut a newspaper article out about a ski club in Chicago. And my mom and her best girlfriend were maybe 19 and went to the ski club in Chicago and met my dad there. And my dad was going to Aspen to go skiing. Mm-hmm. And my mom thought that was so cool. Mm-hmm. So she hit it off with this boy at the ski club. Yeah. And my parents married, sold everything, bought a Winnebago, and left the south side of Chicago and never looked back. Yeah. And they thought they'd land in Montana or Utah or a ski town somewhere because my mom, knew she was going to be a ski bum with this guy. And turns out they ended up in a little tiny ski town in 1970 called Steamboat Springs. And so my brothers and I were all born in Steamboat Springs. My parents were there 15 years. And I think that's right. I think looking back, some of it is just a leap of faith, right? You got to just go. You go. Yeah. On that leap of faith.
I mean, you hear that the mountains are calling. I must go, but
like a house sign.
Yeah, those house signs, the T-shirts, the bumper stickers, you name it, and it's real, And for us, it has been a true story. We moved there. It wasn't easy, I'd say, because marital problems are still there, sure. And so we were just having them in a more beautiful place.
Yes.
And it gave us a wonderful backdrop to sort out all the things, and it was good, and it's been good.
So going into business with your husband was another marital challenge? No, I'm just kidding. I was in business with my dad, so I always say the family therapy is going fine.
I love you so much.
Yeah, no, the family therapy was fine. But
it can be, yeah.
It can be. What are those challenges,
yin and
right?
yang. I can talk to a doorknob, and it would probably talk back to me. I just am that personality. Mm-hmm. He is a thinker and a processor and a creator, behind the scenes.
Sure.
Probably more serious. He's a rock, and I'm a
flower.
Tigger. I'm jumping all over the place and I've got all these great ideas and I never finish them. And, I'm just a different personality. And so that was hard for us, in our marriage. And so now we're learning how to complement both of those and not look at his strengths as weaknesses and look at my strengths as strengths and not weaknesses. So we're able to, I think, as we get older, just really understand and support each other in that way. Yes, seeing each other all the time. Yes, being around each other all the time. You want to have those moments. My time is my mornings. And so he knows. I go work out, I come home, I have my time until it's showtime, 9:00, pretty much. You can then talk to me.
Then I'll
and he
come
respects
to life.
that so much. Yeah. And same with him. He's a night owl. And so he loves to work at night. And so we have to really, literally yesterday, we were looking at our calendars going, when are we going to meet up? And so finally we had to move some things around. And so Wednesday is the day, so we do have to coordinate that. We do have one kiddo still home. Yep. That's 12 that we get to be with. We're more like aunt and uncle to him because his brothers are brother and sisters 22 and 20.
Yeah, you had a little caboose.
Yeah.
That was
he was our welcome gift to Colorado is what he was.
Right. All right. Yes. Things were going well.
Things were going well.
So you got a 12-year-old at home, a middle schooler.
Yes. Yeah. And so that's a trip right there. Yeah. And, the kid in real estate, he truly is getting the experience you got as a child of realtors
for sure.
This is what life is. So he gets us more and this is why we homeschooled for a long time was because Shad.
The big kids and the little kids? The bigs and
yes, both of them. So I homeschooled the olders for 17 years, for a very long time.
All the way through.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, collectively. They wanted to go to high school. And so they got to go prom and all that kind of stuff, football games, things like that. But then when Crosby came along, our youngest, we homeschooled him, but he really was kind of an only child by the time the other kids launched. And so he said, can I go to middle school? We're like, heck yeah. And I had jumped into real estate by then too. So it was a really good transition.
Yeah, it was kind of time. You got a bit of your time back.
Yeah.
But I bet you the homeschooling, nobody who homeschools their children comes to regret it. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh. It is, I'm just telling you, it is a growth experience for you personally. You die to self every day because your agenda is not their agenda. And you have to make sure that you're helping them grow and become amazing human beings. And we really focused on like Socratic dialogue. So instead of giving answers, they had to figure it out and talk about it. And so when he did transition to school, it was so great because they were like, he may not know how to take an actual test, but he could talk to you about this test all day long. And so that's such a strength to have.
Sure.
And so, it's been a good transition. It's been a good transition for him. And he has a bunch of friends, and that's what he was looking for.
Great. Yeah, it's so sweet. I have my first cousin, who's a friend of the podcast, Peter Nowicki, and his wife, Laura. My cousins live in Edwards, and they have 7 children, and they homeschooled all of them up to high school. And we have another friend of the podcast, Meredith Anderson, who is an Evergreen realtor, has 2 little girls at home. And it's interesting. I should connect you guys. I don't know if you know each other, but probably you're circling the universe very close together.
Yeah, awesome.
Very similar stories, but she's homeschooling her 2 girls right now, littles. And she basically quit real estate in like a fiery, like, I can't go on like this. And so she's pulled back in, and she's been doing some coaching. She's running a company called Journey Back to Joy.
Okay.
And it's it's just sweetening things so that you can settle down, so that you can enjoy the journey, essentially.
Yeah.
But no, I certainly think that there's this shift happening where like women are deciding like, I need to just go back to like my nurture essentially and do the thing that I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
It pulls at women, doesn't it? Don't you feel?
I think as women, we really look at our lives so differently. I think Shad and I have had many conversations about this. We talk about how women have like 100 windows open at one time. He's got one screen open at one time every day, and he's going to attend to that. And that I used to give him such a hard time about, but that's, I think, how we're made, because or at least that's how I'm made, to be honest with you. And so for me to be able to juggle so much, just still having a kid at home, still running a business, still really focusing on the marketing aspect of our business, that has brought me so much fulfillment and so much joy. And truly, I try to be done by 2:30 every day so that I can be fully present with Crosby. And then Shad, such a great compliment. He comes along and, he finishes the day, so we are a really great team. Per se, that we really are very happy with the roles that we've kind of settled into. Who's
showing property, who's taking listings, who's attending to the nonsense of the business.
This is new to us because it was just Shad and I for so long that when we jumped over to Real, we jumped over a year ago in November. So a little
Where'd you come from?
Keller Williams.
KW, okay.
Mm-hmm. And we love our Keller Williams family.
Of course. That's how I feel about
Evergreen
my Remax
and
family
Conifer. Too. Yeah. And our broker there, Kevin Wilson, is amazing. Mm-hmm. And so it took us 2 years to jump. Like I found out, I think it was 3 years. We found out about it. I showed Shad again, like the kitchen table moment.
And he had to think.
We need to
think about it.
We need to jump. And he's like, I really love Keller Williams. I don't envision us leaving. I mean, we were the luxury leads. We were educating everybody in the luxury division over in Evergreen and Conifer. We were very handy in the social media and online presence with YouTube and blogging. And, so we were kind of the people that people like were coming over to Keller Williams to learn from, And so we really enjoyed that. We felt pridefully. It was like, we're big fish in a small pond. This is kind of fun. Mm-hmm. But then it got old because we wanted to know more and we wanted to learn more and we wanted to grow more. And not necessarily your typical realtor grow more. We didn't want to grow a team. We didn't want to manage people. Like we didn't want to have office space. Like we didn't want to have any of that. We just enjoyed ourselves and we wanted to grow differently. We wanted to grow online. We wanted to have a better media presence. We wanted to be better at our video. We wanted to be better at our marketing. We wanted to show that we were luxury. We wanted to refine luxury up there. We wanted to redefine what selling real estate in Evergreen was. We just had this passion. I was a dietitian back in the day. I also have been on HGTV. So it's like I have all of these different qualities that I'm like, how do I bring this together? And then Shad has a history of running a media agency as well as being a recruiter, and so he's like, how do we do this? Like, where do we bring all of these gifts into one? And so that's kind of what started happening was we just wanted to be better. better people. Not like sometimes realtors have bad names. We just didn't want that. We wanted excellence. We wanted to have 5-star reviews every transaction. We wanted to be able to give them service in there. Like, we're so glad you were with us this whole time. That's what we wanted to deliver. And so we started creating that reputation just by taking care of the people that asked us to help them buy and sell. Mm-hmm. And it was just a fun time. So recently we've had people come to us and say, hey, can we be part of your team? And so when we jumped over to Real, they were watching us, right? Yeah. We said, we're not doing a team. Like, we just literally said, we're not doing a team. Thank you very much. But no. Mm-hmm. And then they just kept knocking on the door and said, really, like, I will help you make this team, especially one of our agents. She's like, let me just help you build this team because I think you've got something great. And so she was kind of the person behind this, Lindsay Tucker, that just said, hey, like, you've got something here and I want to learn from you and I want you to mentor me. And I said, okay, let's give it a try.
Well, and that's what happens. I think you get to a place in life where there's this shift that happens where you go into knowledge transfer.
Yeah.
You know, you knew a lot of things and you learned a lot of things. And then somebody comes along and they're like, I want to know the things that you know. And if you're paying attention,
right,
and in a spot where you can receive that, you realize that there's this great gift in transferring the knowledge back around.
You'd be interested to know, and I'd love to know more about how you run your team, but we are very lean in regards to who runs our team. Like, we're not those people that, I recently learned this, like, when you live in your life as a survivor, you tend to become an overfunctioner. And I think that's how a lot of realtors get burned out, is because we become everything the client needs us to be.
Yeah.
And then if you're not emotionally checked in with yourself, you do just run on this survivorship. I've got to survive this transaction. I've got to get to the next deal. I've got to get, whatever it is, you just kind of get into this like scarcity mindset. But if you have the healing in place and you're able to go, okay, how do I leverage this? How do I hire this particular pillar that I've created, the system I've created? How do I hire that out? How do I create this kind of team that can run this business lean and efficiently, and I can still be present with my clients as well as with my team?
Well, I mean, it's the analogy of the dental office or the doctor's office. I mean, I'd be alarmed if the dentist were checking my insurance card and checking me in. And so, a real estate team in some ways is supposed to feel like that. Like, it should be alarming to you if your negotiator, who is the hands down the person who's supposed to be supervising your life's most valuable asset, you should be alarmed if there are things they are doing in the business, like dropping flyers or booties at your front door.
Yeah.
And so I learned a long time ago about the art of leverage. And some of that is the benefit of having come up in the business as a second generation agent. My dad was a realtor, and he had an assistant when I joined him. So I joined a team with help. So I don't know it any other way. At 23 years in the business, I got a real estate license.
You weren't dropping booties off.
No, I did every job in the business. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think that, because I worked for him before I got a license.
That's good.
So and I think those make the best real estate agents, actually. We had a training program. We had kind of identified that you should work at the front desk, and then you should go run errands. And then you should, so you should do every job in the business before you go get a real estate license. And then when you get a real estate license, you're good. And frankly, some of the best agents I've ever trained were our assistants before they were an agent. And so I think good real estate agents actually come up through the grunt work of the business, and then they have an appreciation for it.
And I think we're experiencing that right now. We have an assistant that she was actually our babysitter. And she was looking for a job. And so she became my personal assistant and babysitter. And then she became our business assistant. And then now she's a real estate agent, and she's had her first stellar year this year. And so it's kind of fun. She did exactly that we didn't even know that she was actually doing
right?
that.
You were training her to be a good person and to do a good job and whatever. Yeah.
To understand all the aspects of real estate, so that when she does have her assistant, she fully understands.
You can appreciate what the job somebody else did. And the example I say, and you'll appreciate this in Evergreen, Colorado, is like, I had to hammer real estate sign into the frozen ground one time too.
Yes.
Like you can't appreciate any job in this business unless you've done it all.
Like that big, just drilling down, hoping I'm not hitting a wire. You know?
Gosh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, we've been there. Yeah. And so I have to say, like the reason why I talked about that survivorship is because that's where Shad and I were at one point.
I think every real estate agent is there at one time or another.
Yeah. So we're learning and have learned to delegate, and it's going to be okay. And this is their job, and they are glad to do it. And our clients, if we set expectations early, then they know they have access to us and we're with them, but everybody else is doing the thing. And that's one example that we do share is that, you don't want me staging your house. You want me negotiating your deal.
Well, and to be fair, I know what my strengths are now, this place and stage in life. Like I know what my strengths are. I should do that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But, we're brought up in this business to be a master of all things. And
will you do a talk for Real Table Talk for us on this? This would be so mind blowing for a lot of agents, because I do hear everybody talk about that. Is that how do you create a team and your clients still see you and value you and don't feel like they've been pushed off to somebody else? The art of that.
It's the poison in the water in real estate, which is that you think you're supposed to do everything.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do everything. You're supposed to do your superpower. And I think people get caught doing chore in their business. Now, there's chore in every job.
Yes.
But they get caught doing chore they don't like forever and ever until they decide this just isn't for them, and then they quit.
How many years have you been in this business?
Yeah, so my whole life.
Yeah.
So licensed 23.
Okay. So you've grown a lot. You've learned a lot. You are at a place where you're just like, dude, I'm kicking ass. Like I'm doing really good.
I didn't know it.
Right. At
the time.
So I'm curious, people who are at your level, what are you working on? What's your project?
Well, I'm doing the podcast at the kitchen table.
Yes.
So I'm in knowledge transfer. I'm definitely in a place where like I cannot tell you the countless amounts of time. And this is a little imposter syndrome I think people have too, but the countless amounts of time where people are like, what I would have given to have been a fly on the wall for that conversation with you. And I go, oh, well, that was nothing interesting. There was nothing interesting there. There was a book. I wish I knew who wrote it because I keep mentioning it. It's called Nothing Interesting Ever Happens in the North Pole. It's a children's book.
I love that.
Do you know this?
Okay. I don't.
And it's this little character in the North Pole. He's a squirrel or some kind of little rodent, I don't know, in the North Pole. Or maybe a penguin, I don't know.
A rodent.
And in the whole book, he's like jumping on the backs of like polar bears, and there's wolves chasing him down the mountain and snowballs coming down, and there's all this stuff happening around him, but his entire day, nothing happens at all. And I feel like that's kind of how I grew up in real estate. Like I look back on the career now, and it was this unbelievable business. And I think, oh, that was not interesting. There was nothing neat. There was nothing unusual about that. It was just grit and hard work and hustle. And I just was doing the thing that I was told to do. And the next thing came in front of me. And of course I had a baby and took him to 15 closings. And of course and then another baby, and it was fine. Into 23 closings that time. And like nothing seemed normal. Like nothing ever happens in the North Pole.
Yeah.
And so that's where I felt about my real estate business is like, I just kept doing the thing. And then one day I woke up and people were like shaking my shoulders. They were like, you have no idea how successful you've been, what an inspiration you are to others.
You had your head down and you were just doing the job.
Yeah. And then one day you pick your head up and people are like, you really should like talk about that.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, oh, well, who would care about that? And they're like, these people would care about that.
My son would care very much about what you think because he is a sophomore at CU Boulder right now. And he is in finance.
Okay.
And he's in the business school. He got in. Oh my gosh. That was like when he got acceptance, we all looked at each other like,
everybody cheered.
Really? Like how? Like you're in. Not to say any, but he even was like, I got in. This is crazy. Like it was just, we had no expectation because it was so hard to get in. Right. Yeah. And so he's in his second year and he's like, I'm in finance. I know that I want to be in finance. I'm wondering if I should be real estate emphasis. And I said, well, I mean, you grew up kind of in the business in it. What makes you happy about it? What do you like about it? And we were just sharing, what kind of advice would you give him as a sophomore with a degree? He's going to have a business degree with finance major and something as an emphasis, and he's interested in the real estate. Like if you could do it all over again, or what kind of advice would you give him?
Okay. So I think two things. I married a finance degree. His name's Ryan Parle. He's lovely. He is a complete introvert and he sits behind a computer screen and he was working for CenturyLink Lumen, which is 52,000 employees or something. And so you take a finance job at a company like that, which seems like you've made it.
Okay.
Except that when you're working in a finance job with CenturyLink Lumen, you're working on a spreadsheet that's this big and your day is spent down here. Oh, wow. And so what he began to understand is that like he was working in this tiny little sector of the business with 5 zeros behind every number. Oh. And so you think you're making this big impact because you have a finance degree or you're going to do something in finance, and you just get stuffed in a spreadsheet down here, tiny with 5 zeros. And that's how I envision what he was doing for CenturyLink Lumen, and my husband at 20 years in corporate finance was all done.
Yeah.
And what he didn't like about finance was that it's black and white, or finance is gray and accounting is black and white. So he would work on the accounting teams and like it more because 2 + 2 = 4, but he'd work on the finance team and they'd be like, go sell 400 million in South America or something. And they'd be like, we don't even know how to do. So it was very gray.
Yeah.
So he popped out of accounting and finance after 20 years and needed a full 4 years to recover.
Nice. I can understand that. Yeah.
And so.
Sounds like it.
But I'm ADD, crazy, like idea person, vision caster, like you, like 25 windows open on my computer at any given time, complete nothing, just move on to the next thing. And so I humbly submit to a young person that he should get very clear about how he actually wants to spend his days. Because if he's more of an adventurer, really an adventurer.
Oh, he jumps off cliffs and he loves it. And
if he's really an adventurer, he's going to dislike this.
Yeah.
And so, and I think there's a big difference between what I call the entrepreneur and the intrapreneur.
Tell me more.
So the entrepreneur, and this is a concept that a young guy on our team brought to me, which I hadn't had the words for, but he called it this.
I love it.
You know, an entrepreneur is somebody who will scale a business, sign a 5-year lease on a copy machine or buy a building or scale a team or sign the front sides of payroll or hire a payroll provider to do payroll activities and run a business.
Yes.
Real estate agents, for the most part, are entrepreneurs. They think they're an entrepreneur, but they don't have the guts to sign a 5-year lease on a building. They think they're an entrepreneur, but they don't really want to coach, train, lead, guide other humans. And so the intrapreneur is somebody who makes just a great single agent.
Yeah.
I mean, I've spent my whole life watching single agents be successful, particularly in the RE/MAX network.
Yeah.
Where they could just be a RE/MAX agent for 50 years.
Yeah.
And have a beautiful life, a happy life. But that's not the same.
Enter Real brokerage, though. So when those entrepreneurs come over to Real, they can do rev share. They can have conversations with other agents. They don't have to manage them at all. And they just build their network. Yeah. You know, so that's a really great, there's a place for everybody, you know, at Real in regards to that. And that's really good, you know, for us in the sense because we don't want to build a team. We don't want to manage people. We have an office. We pay rent. We've done that for, I don't know, we're on like year 6 or 7 now. We do have a team. It's really not that bad. It's not as bad. It actually gives to us more. It really blesses us tremendously just to have conversation. And they're a lot younger than us. And so it's so fun to be around young energy and ideas. And then the transfer of knowledge is a lot of fun. Like it's a season of life.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Where you don't realize you're at until someone shakes you and says, hey, start a team. You've got some great stuff.
Or you shake yourself loose sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? What am I going to do?
I'm curious, who are you outside of real estate?
Oh, I'm the exact same person in and out of the business.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you like to do? I know real estate is fun to you. I mean, I could hear that coming out of your mouth. I love real estate. I enjoy it. But like, what's other stuff?
No, I mean, I live and breathe the business, really.
Yeah.
So I have 3 children at home. I have a 14-year-old daughter and 2 boys. They're almost 12 and 9. And Ryan and I have a house in Winter Park, and we like to ski.
Yes.
I was always a ski. My parents went to Southside Chicago to Steamboat Springs. Oh. So we skied before we walked and talked.
That's awesome.
So we like to ski, although I'm like the old lady skier on the mountain now. I just like.
Oh, me too.
I mean, I don't need to die out there, okay?
Yeah. Because if you get injured, there's a lot that depends on you. Yeah. And that's how I feel. I'm like, I don't need to be injured. I need to prove myself out here. So,
you know, Ryan and I are doing the thing. We run businesses really well together.
Oh, that's awesome.
he's come alongside me this whole time.
Yeah. Has he partnered with you in the business or?
Well, on everything. We have a rental portfolio together.
Oh, okay.
And that was just at the advice of a real estate agent who said, buy a house every year that you're in the business and you can retire at 40 rich. And it was kind of like, well, I don't even know how to buy one house, let alone a house every year, but sure.
Okay.
Sounds neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't know anything else but to just kind of get going. And the business has been a lot of fun for Ryan and I, because I'll call him and say, what do you think I ought to do about this? Yeah. And he'll go, okay. And usually if there's something I shouldn't do, he kind of sort of stands up and says like, you got to get past me if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and then sometimes he'll say, and proceed. So he's never really stood in the way of anything I ever wanted to do. Very ambitious.
Sounds like you are a very good balance for each other.
Very ambitious. And he would always balance me. He'd check me every now and again and be like, I don't think that's going to work for you.
Yeah. That's good.
And I had good friends around too. You know, looking back, my best friends were a good core group. I have a lovely family, and I could bounce in and out of that.
Yeah.
For advice a lot.
Yeah.
And I was business coached my whole career. I didn't know it, but I was. I had business coach in my dad, my whole early part of the business.
Yeah.
And I think mentorship is key, having good business coaches. And then I switched business coaches as needed.
Yeah.
You know, I would be in a place where I needed to learn how to operate a business. And so I'd get outside consulting, like business management coaching. Right. Well, then I'd figure that out. And then I hired like an HR coach, and she helped me get the employees lined up and make sure the job descriptions were written properly and that the salary was being taken care of, and helped me do all of that. And then I'd realize I was not doing a good job at the accountability with the team or whatever. And so I'd hire a coach to do that, or that I didn't have lead system worked out. And so I'd hire a coach to do that. So I just didn't stay with the same coaching program all these years. And I didn't stay with the same coach all these years. It's like good therapy.
As
you
needed.
Just tap in when needed.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you find your coaches?
It just feels like life finds me. Maybe that's God at my feet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, life just sort of finds me. People just seem to find their way into.
Well, I want to speak to that because I think sometimes you feel so aligned to me. Like just the first time I met you, I was like, that chick's aligned. Like you kind of, you're aligned. That's just the easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
And when you are aligned, you have the idea and you're like, so this is what my subconscious is basically looking for, you know? And so when you say it comes to you, it's like, yeah, you don't even know you're looking for it, but it just like when we don't have focus, right? And if we don't have intention of what our next steps are, we'll never see that opportunity that comes along. So it sounds like you do a lot of maybe goal setting or a lot of like, this is what I need next. And there's like Neil Dingra says, he's my coach right now. He says, you know, you'll never stop growing. You're always going to be growing, like not just emotionally, but like business wise, you will always be growing. So is that your
growth
mindset?
Doesn't mean bigger.
Yes.
Sometimes growth can mean more aligned. Sometimes growth can mean sweeter, nicer, calmer, whatever, be in the flow. And so growth doesn't always mean bigger. And that took me a long time to figure that out. Yes. I don't know that I knew that. Somehow I figured that out, but like bigger isn't always more.
Yes.
Actually, you know what?
I agree.
It's interesting looking back. For me, heartache helped me sort of sum up that out. You know, I went through a very painful loss of like family members. And that's when the awakening really happened for me. That was when it was like, oh, it's just not all for this.
Yeah.
Like it
was your awakening.
Yes. And so that's what a gift. What a gift that has been.
Yeah.
You know, a gift I didn't ask for, a gift I didn't know. You just don't know these things until
But you received it and you welcomed it, you know, and maybe not like,
well, you grow through it.
Yeah.
And you think.
Because some people will fight it and not choose to embrace, what am I learning out of this? What is my lesson in this? You know, it sounds like you were, did you come by that naturally? Is that how you always have been? Just like, oh, what is this? This is horrible, but I'm going to put my head down and get through it. And
again, nothing interesting ever happened in the North Pole.
This is just your nature.
Yeah, I just didn't.
Do you feel like your family's that way? Is that your dad?
Yeah, my dad was an optimist. My dad was a driver, an extrovert, a people person. I mean, really loves people. And I did too, actually. I mean, I never met a person I couldn't talk to for an hour.
Yeah.
I was just, even as a little kid, I would be like, oh, I love your earrings. I love your shoes. And then as a teenager, I could sit on an airplane and talk to somebody, some, totally wildly different person than me. The whole plane ride,
What number are you in the family? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 3. I have 2 older brothers.
You sound like my youngest.
I'm just I'm a natural extrovert. I'm a high I on the disc profile.
Oh yeah. He just literally said, he's 12. Can you just drop me off at the mountain, Mom? Like I'm good. I don't need you
my
with
12-year-old
me.
goes straight onto the mountain by himself.
And I'm like, of course you can.
Yes, go.
Yes. Please go.
because you want to be able to drop in. What was the very first thing you said? We drop in and then we find our wings, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't want to spend the rest of my life with kids who aren't resilient.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yes.
So
go break
you
the
better
leg.
go figure out how to be
lost.
resilient.
Yeah. Figure it out.
I feel like society has just been so hard on our kids, but I definitely want for them resiliency. That's for sure.
I mean, I was raised in the come home when the street lights turn on.
Yeah, when the sun goes down.
Yeah.
Street lights go off. We had a neighbor when I was a girl. Her name is Pam Harmon. We're not neighbors with Pam anymore, but Pam Harmon was the neighbor kid's mom. And she had a big whistle. And she would put her hands in her mouth, the kind, and she'd go, whoa, the kind.
Yeah.
And I mean, every neighborhood kid went home.
Yes.
It was like when Pam Harmon whistled,
yes,
it was time for everybody to go home.
So my mom remarried, and she married a man who was born in Lufkin, Texas. And so he was raised on the farm. And so when he came into our lives, he would put his fingers in his mouth and he would whistle, and the sound was like a free fur. That's what it sounded like. So I can't do that trick, but I literally, if I just go free fur, just make that sound like that, my kids immediately turn their head. It's hilarious.
That's your call.
Yeah, I don't whistle. It's just a very
like
low
a little bird
key.
Call.
Yeah. And they're like, could you have come up with something better? I'm like, you respond.
I know. I love, and we're going to end on this. I do love little family inside jokes, don't you? Or little inside things.
The best.
I think that's really sweet. Ryan and I have a lot of these little isms in the house, and I think that's what makes life fun. That's the little stuff that makes
the joy.
Yeah, it really is. So thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.